Hello. Thank you for joining us. This is Livingston County Law and Wealth. I'm Thaddeus McGaffey with IDIC Financial and Integrity Investment Solutions, and this is Ashley Prue with Williams and Knack PC. And today we're going to start talking about steps to take and professionals to contact when you're starting a business. So here we are. I got this amazing idea. I'm going to start doing this thing. What am I supposed to do? I should just go to the website, go online, Google a form, get a legal Zoom, or what's the best way for me to get going there?
I would highly advise not to start there.
No.
I would start in a couple places and advise my clients to do the same. Contact your business attorney.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm biased. I am a business attorney.
Excellent.
But also contact your financial advisor.
Mm-hmm.
Contact your accountant or CPA. And depending on what type of business you're going to be purchasing or buying or starting, you may need to contact other professionals. If you're going to purchase real estate, you'll want to contact those types of professionals as well, lenders, real estate agents, etc.
So real basic question is just, doing business as, I don't need to have my own entity, right? I could just do a DBA, I can do an LLC, and then the LLC can file either as an S Corp or a C Corp, or I can set up a corporation as well. Where's the pros and cons on that list?
That's a big topic. It's very loaded, but that's the kind of conversation we would have in our first initial client meeting. So the consideration is, am I going to be a limited liability company or an LLC, or am I going to be a corporation?
Okay.
A DBA or a doing business as isn't any type of entity.
Okay.
So you're essentially doing business as yourself. And if your business gets sued as a DBA only, you're getting sued as an individual. And if something happens where you have a settlement or a judgment, your individual assets are on the hook for that.
So we're talking about my house, my car, my checking account. So something silly happens at my business that I started up, and now I've lost everything because I forgot to file a form.
Right.
Basically.
Or basically, that's the simplified version of it, yes. But and then you did kind of hit the nail on the head, Thaddeus, with there's different ways to pay taxes.
Okay.
An LLC versus an S corporation. I've seen time after time where someone starts a business on their own, whether it's one business owner or multiple, files documents as an LLC with the state of Michigan, but then their accountant indicates that, it's more beneficial for you to pay taxes as an S corporation.
Right.
So now what happens is, on the federal level, the IRS doesn't really care because an LLC is what's known as a disregarded entity. Oh. But now you have an LLC on the state level and a corporation on the tax federal level, and those entities are different things. So
not gonna play well.
Yeah, so if you're going to file taxes as an S corporation, you should be an S corporation. And if you're saying, oh no, I'm an LLC that pays taxes as an S corporation, unless you're getting a lawsuit served on you, it wouldn't be optimal timing to call me, but you may need to anyway. But you can still straighten that out.
Okay.
There is a way to do that.
Fixable.
Yeah, it's a little bit more expensive because you have to do a little bit more paperwork on the state level to undo what you already did, but it can be resolved.
Okay.
And the goal with that is to make your business entity a separate identity, so that it is all one silo set up properly, and that is separate from your personal identity.
And that's really just a liability issue. I'm just trying to protect myself, my family, my stuff.
Right.
All
the assets that you have invested and made grow, you want to protect that.
Okay, excellent. And one of the other things in terms of professionals to talk to, advice that was given to me way back when I was starting, is contact your web developer.
Correct.
Because when you file for an LLC or when you file for a tax ID number, that becomes public information, right? I can go to the state of Michigan and type in, who's a new LLC that just started up. But there are companies that will actually monitor the state sites, and when a new LLC is set up or a new business entity is set up, they'll actually go buy that business domain and then charge you 2, 3, 4, 10 times as much as what it's worth because they locked out your name.
Yeah, so ideally, you don't go and file things with, for example, me or another business attorney until you've contacted all these professionals. I can check for you, actually, you could check yourself if the name's available in Michigan.
Right.
But you also want to make sure you're not infringing on any federal trademarks or service marks.
Okay.
So just because the name's available in Michigan doesn't mean it's available everywhere in the United States, and it doesn't mean the domain's available.
Okay.
So if you pick a business name, tell me to incorporate it, I say, okay, great, you're set to go. And then later you find out you can't get that domain, you're kind of stuck.
Right.
Yeah, so you can either do an assumed name through your current business or change your business name.
Okay.
So there are workarounds, but ultimately you want to get everything done all at once correctly so that you aren't redoing things, paying more money to either your IT professional, your website developer, your accountant, your attorney.
Right. All right. So again, quick list. We need to check name availability. We need to determine whether I can get the website. We need to determine if I'm doing business in multiple states. Does that matter?
It does. It matters for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
A lot of states, Michigan included. So say you would need to register as a foreign entity. And when I say foreign, I don't mean foreign as in out of the United States.
Okay.
But foreign as in another state.
Got
so if I'm a Michigan corporation and I want to sell product in Ohio,
okay,
depending on the state, there may or may not be a registration that you need to fill out to do that.
Okay.
And then you also have probably a topic for another day, but you may have state and local tax issues with that as well.
Absolutely, because you've got to start tracking what portion of my income I earned in this state versus that state, because their state income tax may be different than ours.
Right.
Okay, got it. And now, well, that's a CPA question. I was going to say, can I get a credit back for that? But we'll jump down that alley. So, all right, so we got name availability, we got our website, we had a conversation about whether we were going to be, what type of business entity, and we all agreed that DBA, doing business as, was a horrible idea. We talked to our financial professional, said, hey, do I need assets for my startup? Yeah. We talked to our attorney to find out, maybe also help that conversation about what type of business entity, so I know how I'm filing. What else do we have? Do we have a sixth person we need to loop in, or is that most of what we need to?
I think that's most of it,
Okay.
except for one other type of professional I always recommend is an insurance agent.
There you go.
So we recommend you get an insurance agent that is specialized in commercial insurance.
Okay.
Because every type of business comes with a different kind of risk.
Sure.
I can, say, okay, a gym is likely going to be higher risk than a website development company, but I'm not educated or certified or able to tell you how much risk, how much insurance you need.
Sure.
So that's why you need to work with that qualified professional as well.
We went through that with Taste of Brighton. We were setting that up as a nonprofit, and we needed to have insurance, obviously, because we're going to have 40,000 people piling into downtown, and apparently the city doesn't want us to do that without coverage in place.
An event policy.
Yeah, and finding someone that specialized in event policies was surprisingly difficult. We had to call a lot of different people, and some people didn't do it at all, and some people say we do it a little bit, but we're not good at it, so try this person over here, and we were finally able to get the proper insurance, and it turned out it was actually more efficient for us to get a policy for the entire year than it was to just get a 2-day policy for those standalones, which again was surprising for me. I thought it would be the opposite, like, hey, I only want insurance for 2 days, but so yeah, we were able to do that. So definitely get your insurance in place and find out from someone in your industry what type of insurance you should have. For example, I have errors and omission insurance for my financial profession, but I also, because I have a business location, I had to get a business overhead policy so that if someone gets injured at my office, they break their leg or twist their ankle or something.
You'll need property and casualty insurance if you have that. Depending what type of organization you're working for example, if you're on a board of directors for a nonprofit, you'll need directors and officers.
Absolutely.
Also referred to as D&O coverage. We do recommend that corporations talk to their insurance providers about that too, because anytime you get sued, even if it's right or wrong, they're likely to try to go after you as an individual. If you have your entity set up properly, that shouldn't be able to happen, but you still have to pay for the defense work to get yourself out of that case. So proper insurance can cover that cost of litigation.
Yeah, and that circles back to what we said originally. Do it right the first time. If you drew up your corporate documents properly, then there's indemnification in place and there's clauses in place that will protect the individual operator and the individual board members. And if you miss that paragraph,
and the other thing people don't realize is they'll go file their articles with the state of Michigan and say, oh, I have a corporation, I have a LLC, but there are all these backroom documents that need to be in place that don't get filed. But if you then get sued and you don't have them, the court will be more likely to say you weren't acting as a corporation, so I'm not going to treat you as one.
Oh, wow.
And they may, it's called piercing the corporate veil.
Right.
Which is a funny legal term for, I'm going to go after you as if you were your business.
Okay. Got it. That's not the goal, definitely.
Right.
All right. Well, perfect. So that's our takeaway for the week is do it right once. Work with all your professionals. Get everybody at the table at the same time. Make sure you're filing the right type of corporation, the right type of entity, make sure you have the right insurance in place, make sure you have a plan for your taxes, and make sure you have a cash capital outflow to build up to get you successful and on your feet. So that'll take care of us for the week, and we will tune in soon. Thanks very much. Talk to you.
Thank you.